Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our virtual jazz club. This is the middle of week number 7 now, and it's been such a pleasure sharing our music with you every night. Thank you for joining us both on Facebook and YouTube. We are now live streaming simultaneously in both places, which we are really excited about. We're happy that we have the means to do this now, so it's a great way to just keep our audience ever expanding. If we have any new listeners joining us right now, we are Laura Dubin and Antonio Guerrero. Thank you so much for being here. It is International Jazz Day today, which is so exciting for us. Of course, every day is Jazz Day for us. But we are really grateful that there is a holiday to recognize this great art form, and we think it's a very important art form. And most jazz fans are aware of this, but if we have anybody listening who maybe, is kind of new to jazz, which is totally cool if that's the case, if that's true for you, we are so delighted and honored that you're here sharing this experience with us. Jazz is a truly American music, and I think it's probably something that, in my opinion, we can say that this is one of our proudest achievements as a country, is having this music that is really from here. And so it's just something really special about it that I wanted to mention in case some people might not be aware of that, because they don't always teach you that in school. And yeah. I think it should be taught from, kindergarten, in my opinion. It's something special. Yeah,
everybody should be
something we should be proud of. Yeah. So tonight we'd like to start off with a composition by the pianist Vince Guaraldi. And you probably recognize his name from the Charlie Brown Christmas movie, or all the Charlie Brown movies. He did the soundtracks for all those movies, but before that, he was already having a great career as a pianist and composer and trio pianist. And he's got amazing compositions outside of the Charlie Brown world. But this is a piece he wrote, and you can hear this in the background during some scenes in the Charlie Brown Christmas. And this is called Charlie Brown.
Is the speaker off?
Mm-hmm. Good grief, he's saying. Some joyful music to start off your evening. That was called Charlie Brown by Vince Guaraldi. And I have to say that the Charlie Brown Christmas soundtrack is actually probably one of the albums that made me become a jazz musician, because that is definitely one of the first jazz albums that I heard. And I just love the sound of the jazz trio so much. It's just such happy music. And so Lucy, swinging.
That everybody wants to know that in the piano.
Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And it really is that as fun to play on the piano as it sounds.
Not that easy.
Nope, not as easy as it sounds. It's not that I think it sounds easy, but it's got a lot of repetition. So some people might think that it's easy to play, but it's definitely not.
In the left, no?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we do these live stream videos at Christmas time, we're definitely going to play that piece a lot. Thank you so much for joining us. If you're here with us tonight, please leave us a comment and say hello. It's a silly thing to say. If you're watching this right now, of course you're here tonight. But anyway, I guess if you're enjoying the music and you're here, leave us a comment, say hello, let us know where you're watching from. And if you're listening for the first time, please introduce yourself, because we're always delighted to make new friends, and it's been great having our audience grow these past few weeks. As I mentioned before, this is week number 7 of the live stream concerts that we've been doing here, and we've been doing these concerts every single night, no nights off, and we're having so much fun. We plan to keep going as long as possible. And, we didn't know what to expect when we started out, but we felt really lucky that from the beginning we've had a lot of community support, a lot of listeners, new people watching every night. And it's really just taken off thanks to all of our dear friends and family who've been sharing our videos. We really appreciate that so much, because our audience has grown considerably just in a very short period of time.
Yeah, thank you all the family and friends for sharing and watching the video every day. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, we'd like to play a piece by Rodgers and Hammerstein. This comes from their very famous musical called Oklahoma. However, the arrangement of this piece was actually inspired by the pianist Hank Jones. There's an album that I discovered in college that Hank did with saxophonist Joe Lovano. It's actually just the two of them live at Dizzy's Club in New York. And this was actually a solo piece that Hank Jones played himself. And this is his arrangement of Oh, What a Beautiful Morning. nice optimistic tune by Rodgers and Hammerstein that's called "Oh What a Beautiful Morning." I know it's evening, but it's morning somewhere in the world, so you can play that song all day long. If you're enjoying the music tonight and you'd like to show your support for what we're doing, especially because it's International Jazz Day, and what better day to show some support to your local independent jazz musicians than today, there's a link to my website right in the video, both on Facebook and YouTube, and that'll take you right to the music/store page of my website. And there are 3 different ways you can make a contribution if you'd like to. The first is that you can download our albums. We have 7 albums that you can choose from. We hope that you'll sample them all and hopefully purchase them all if you like what you hear. You can also make a one-time donation. There are several amounts that you can choose from. You can mix and match the amounts if you'd like, or change the amount by adjusting the quantity, or you can just choose one of them as it is. And the last option on the page, if you go all the way to the bottom, you can become a monthly patron of Laura Dubin Jazz. So you can set up an automatic recurring credit card payment. You can choose whichever amount you'd like to donate once per month. There's a drop-down menu right there where you can click on the amount that you'd like, and then click on the yellow button that says subscribe. You'll be redirected to a PayPal website, and that's where you can set up your automatic credit card payment. You only have to set it up one time, and then after that, you can just sit back and relax and enjoy the music, and you'll have a donation coming directly to us once a month. So that's a great way to show your ongoing support if you'd like to see us continue doing these videos for as long as possible, which we certainly hope to do. Everything on my website is secure, including the PayPal link. However, if you'd like to make a donation but you prefer not to do it online for any reason, you can send me a private message on Facebook and we can talk about another method. Or if you're not on Facebook, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can go directly to my website, lauradubin.com, and then just go to the contact page and you can send me an email there. So there are definitely alternative ways we can discuss. If you're not able to make a contribution right now, that's totally okay. We really appreciate your support, and we're so glad that you're here listening to our music. We just really appreciate that so much. Thank you. We'd like to play a tune by Antonio Carlos Jobim next. And we've been playing many of his compositions recently because he just has so much beautiful music. Really, I'd say, here in the U.S. we have like our great American songbook composers like Rodgers and Hammerstein, Cole Porter, the Gershwins. I think Antonio Carlos Jobim is probably Brazil's version of
the
that.
biggest.
Yeah.
Yes.
And in fact, isn't the airport in Rio named after him? Yeah.
Jobim is.
Not a lot of airports have are named after musicians, so that's pretty impressive. I think the one in New Orleans is also called Louis Armstrong Airport.
Nice.
Pretty cool. Yeah. But Jobim just has such an incredible body of work that he composed. And this is a beautiful, kind of heart-wrenching song that he wrote called Once I Loved. That was called Once I Loved by Antonio Carlos Jobim. Not to be confused with Antonio Umberto Guerrero Garcia. Who's that?
Who's that?
That's Antonio's full name for anybody who
too long.
doesn't know that. It's not too long. You just have 2 first names and 2 last names. Nothing out of the ordinary. No, you have a beautiful name. I know that's not the first time I've said that recently. It's just any excuse that for me to say your name.
I almost forgot.
I have a lot of friends and family out there who live in Chicago. If any of them happen to be watching right now, this next song is for you. This is a great American songbook tune called Chicago. And I'm gonna have some of our lovely pictures of Chicago on display here. Unfortunately, you and I have never been there together yet. We have to make that happen once we're allowed to travel again. When I lived in Michigan for 4 years, I went to Chicago a bunch of times because it was a pretty easy drive or a train ride. And one of my most memorable trips there, I think Siobhan is probably watching. My sister and I went there during my freshman year of college when I was staying at school over spring break, but I was just like staying in the dorm with nothing to do because school was closed all week. And my sister Siobhan was living in Cleveland at the time, so it was a little bit of an easier drive to go from there to Kalamazoo, Michigan. And so she came and we probably spent one night in Kalamazoo and then went to Chicago for the weekend the next day, and it was just the most fun trip ever. So some of those pictures are going to be up here, Siobhan. Hope you all enjoy this tune, Chicago. I want to put this picture up for a second. Oh, it's gone. Here it is. So, I don't know if the camera is showing it right now or how well you can see it, but check out that storm there. So it was like perfectly sunny right there, and then this huge storm was coming. Like, it was literally like looking at night and day. It was amazing. So my Uncle Dave, I have some relatives in Chicago. My Uncle Dave and my Aunt Ann and my beautiful cousins, Charlotte, Violet, and Elliot. I was visiting them on this particular trip, and my Uncle Dave and I went on, it's kind of like a boat tour of Chicago, went through the river and then out into the lake here, and it was like a beautiful day, so sunny, and then just as we were pulling out into the lake, it started to look like that. We were watching this huge storm, which seemed to come from out of nowhere, and it was like really amazing. I'd never seen anything like that. So I guess that's the kind of weather that they have in Chicago. It's very similar to Rochester. We could fit in nicely there. All right, enjoy this tune, Chicago. was called Chicago, and we'd like to dedicate that to all our friends and family who live in and around Chicago. It's such a beautiful city. I have so many memories of many trips that I took there during the time that I lived in Michigan, and we hope to go there together someday, hopefully sooner than later. Two of my favorite things that I ate there that I remember are Garrett's Popcorn. I think that's kind of a famous popcorn company in Chicago. And Lou Malnati's Pizza. There was one weekend that I was there, and I think somehow my friends and I ended up having Lou Malnati's for like every meal. There's several of them in Chicago. Actually, it's probably more than several. It's probably a chain. Deep dish. Okay. So there's a debate that will probably be going on forever between New Yorkers and Chicagoans. Is that correct? If anybody out there listening from Chicago, tell me if that's correct. Chicagoans. Anyway, we're gonna be in a never-ending debate about pizza for centuries. Oh. New York is thinner slices, more thin crust, but like huge slices that more you could Italian, just pick up and you can pick it up and kind of hold it in your hand almost like a burrito. You can't do that with Chicago pizza. It's deep dish pizza. I felt like I had to eat it with a fork and knife. It was very, very thick, but super delicious. So I'm not going to spark any kind of pizza debate now because I love it all. Any kind of pizza. If it's got melted cheese on it and, tomato sauce and bread dough, then I like it, no matter where it's from.
The pesto.
Yeah, exactly. So we've got just a couple tunes left to play for you tonight, and we'd like to slow things down a little bit. This next piece is a beautiful ballad, and it's almost, I would call it like a hauntingly beautiful ballad by Bill Evans, who, as many of you know, is one of my piano heroes. This piece is called Laurie, and he wrote this piece for his woman at the time, whose name was Laurie. And, it sounds like a little bit like my name, so I might have a biased reason for liking this piece. There's a composition called Lori by the great Bill Evans, and I'm just going to pretend that it's called Laura, which is actually the name of another great jazz standard. That, again, I might be biased, but I think it's a beautiful tune, the song Laura. Maybe we'll play that one eventually. But this was Lori by Bill Evans, and I love playing that tune so much. It's got so many different colors in it. I don't know, it reminds me of like a watercolor painting or something.
Yeah, it's always floating.
Yeah.
It's always there, and
atmospheric,
you don't want
kind of.
to land at all.
Yeah. Oh my God, that's such a perfect description of it. That's exactly what it feels like. Yeah, kind of like you're gliding along. So, before we play our last tune, I would just like to once again thank you all for joining us tonight. It's been so great having you here and having an opportunity to share our music with you on International Jazz Day. We are so excited that this is a holiday, and I think that Herbie Hancock was one of the people who initiated this as a International Jazz Day. So April is Jazz Appreciation Month. And apparently that's because so many jazz musicians had birthdays in April, and I guess that was why they chose April to be that month. And I suppose they just decided to have the last day of the month be International Jazz Day. And so if you're enjoying the music tonight and you feel so inclined on this International Day of Jazz Appreciation, why not show a little appreciation by making a contribution to our ongoing video project here. There's a link right in the video on both Facebook and YouTube. And when you click on the link, you'll be taken right to the music/store page of my website. And there are 3 different ways you can make a contribution. The first is that you can download our albums. And we certainly hope that you will, choose that option, because we are really happy when you want to listen to our music. We've got 7 albums that you can choose from. Album number 8 will be on the way very soon. We'll have news about that in the next few weeks, most likely. If you scroll just a little bit past the album cover pictures, you'll see where you can make a one-time donation. There are several amounts that you can choose from. You can pick whichever amount you like best. You can feel free to mix and match the amounts if you'd like, or change the amount by adjusting the quantity, or you can just pick one of them as it is. And then you can also become a monthly patron of Laura Dubin Jazz. That's the third and final option, all the way on the bottom of that same page. You can select an amount that you'd like to donate once per month from the drop-down menu. And then when you click the subscribe button, you'll be directed to a PayPal site where you can set up an automatic recurring credit card payment that will go through once per month. and you only have to set it up once, and after that you can literally just sit back and relax and enjoy the music, and you'll know that you'll have a donation coming directly to us once per month. And that's a great way to show your ongoing support if you'd like to see us continue doing these videos as long as possible. And if you ever need to cancel your monthly payment at any time, if your situation changes further down the road, there's no penalty if you do need to cancel. You can always manage your settings later on. And my website is a secure site. The PayPal website is also secure. However, if you'd like to make a donation but you prefer not to do it online, you can either send me a private message here on Facebook, or you can contact me through the contact form on my website, and we could talk about another method. If you're not able to make a contribution today, that's totally okay. We really appreciate you being here and listening to our music, watching our videos, sharing our videos with your friends and family. Your support really means the world to us no matter what. And a huge thank you to everybody who's been watching these from the beginning. We have many friends here in the audience, in our virtual audience, who have been with us since
and all the
week one.
supporters too. We are so lucky to have a beautiful friends and family and
Absolutely.
people who appreciate what we are doing, and thank you, big thank you.
Yes, absolutely. So let's play our last piece now. We haven't played a Horace Silver tune in a few days, and it's time to fix that because we love his compositions so much. This is a really fun tune. All the tunes he wrote are fun to play, but I know this one in particular is like extra fun to play. This is called Nutville. Oh, and don't forget to leave a comment if you haven't left a comment already, because after we play this last piece, I'm going to look through the comments and we're going to say hello to everybody who left a comment. So we hope you will do that, whether you're watching on Facebook or YouTube. That was called Nutville by Horace Silver. And that is all the music for tonight, but if you'd like to stick around for a few minutes, I'm going to read through all the comments now, and we will chat with all of you for a little while. Feel free to leave a comment now if you haven't already done so. I will probably see it pop up on the screen. And if there's anybody new here tonight, please know that we're doing these concerts every night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and we're streaming both on Facebook and YouTube. If you've been watching this on my personal Facebook page, and you haven't liked my Facebook music page yet, please head on over there and give it a like. We are almost at 600 now, in just the span of like 2 weeks. We got
9.
now I think maybe it's
Maybe
5
less.
or
Yeah.
something. I didn't quite see the final numbers as of today, but if you'd like to be one of the few people who brings us up to 600 likes, now's your chance.
Why you don't
Now's the time.
like us?
That's a quote from Friends. If there's just so nobody thinks Antonio's just like being rude. There's a Friends episode that we watched recently about this woman who does a one-woman play, and the play starts out with her running on stage and going, "Why don't you like me?"
Exactly, I love that line.
That's why you got that in your mind now.
Exactly.
So
It's my way to learn English. You know?
your English is already beautiful. We like sitcoms because I don't know, there's just so much going on in the world that is, let's face it, there's a lot of darkness going on, especially now. And I don't know, we like things that make us laugh because we can watch the news if we want to see something that's maybe not so nice, but when it comes to like just watching TV for pleasure, we like the things that make us laugh. We enjoy. So that's one of our shows we like to indulge in sometimes. Where is my phone? Here it is. Anyway, if you'd like to give my Facebook page a like, now is a great time to do so. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you can also go ahead and click on the subscribe button to subscribe to my channel. Even if you're not watching this on YouTube right now, you can head on over to YouTube later and subscribe to my channel. It's called Laura Dubin Jazz. Easy to remember. And the benefit for you to like or subscribe to these pages and channels is that you'll be notified immediately whenever we go live or anytime we post any kind of music related content. And if any of you were wondering why we started the video so early tonight and the last few nights, it's just because we're trying to get our equipment set up a little earlier, just to make sure that it's all working smoothly. There's like a little bit of extra work involved now that we're streaming in both places at once.
Yeah.
But we're always going to start at 8:30. So you'll see the little sign in the video saying our concert's starting at 8:30.
We don't want to say all the technique
Exactly.
situations and issues, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Let's see here. So I'm heading on over here now. I saw some comments popping up while we were playing. And just a quick reminder that sometimes not all of the comments show up here when I look at them because the video is still live. But I'm going to look through all of them again later, and if there were any that I missed, I'm going to reply directly to you. Let's see. Bunch here.
And that's why the video on YouTube is a little longer. We finish.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
The
We
streaming
ended that
in
one a little
Facebook,
later.
but still YouTube is a couple of minutes.
Yeah, I think there's a
running
little bit of a
still.
delay in the YouTube.
Some
so
little delays, like 2 seconds,
Yeah.
or something like that.
I just leave it running for a couple minutes extra just to make sure it's really, really there. So Jim and Judy Henderson are watching. Great to have you both here again. They say
Thank you,
great as
Jim and
always.
Judy.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah. Hey, Siobhan, great to see you
Hey,
virtually.
Siobhan, thank you.
She says that, oh, I know, that Chicago trip was so much fun. I want to go back. And also, Siobhan, I'm going to tell our listeners about the story of our trip. So, as I mentioned, I was living in Kalamazoo, Michigan at the time, which is in the same time zone as here in New York, Eastern time. Chicago is 1 hour behind that. I guess it's called Central Time. Is that correct? And so Siobhan and I went to Chicago, and if it wasn't already confusing enough that it's an hour behind, it was also daylight savings weekend. And so we kept getting confused about everything, like the train schedules, and we were going to see the Chicago orchestra that night, and we were like really confused about the start time because we weren't sure what time it was, and our hotel check-in, everything was just like really confusing, but it was fun, and I think we figured it all out, and we had the most marvelous trip ever. I want to do that again.
Nice.
Hey, Linda, great to have you here. She also says Chicago is one of my favorites. Great arrangement. Thank you both. Thank you so much, Linda. Glad you like that tune.
Thank you for
so
watching, Linda.
swinging.
Yay.
Yeah, great to have you here again, Linda. Oh, yeah. Siobhan says the best pizza is Nino's in her neighborhood. Yes, it is. Oh, my God. It's so good. We probably had that one night, I think, at Siobhan's house or my dad's house. Yeah. Hey, Betsy. Great to have you here. She says, I so enjoyed tonight's concert and got to hear it from the beginning. Oh, good. Happy International Jazz Day. Woohoo. We are very grateful that there's an International Jazz Day because, I don't know, there's a lot of, like, kind of arbitrary holidays and days. Sometimes I see on Facebook, like, a National Dog Day or Ice Cream Day or something. I'm glad that there's actually a holiday, like a real, kind of celebration day for jazz, because jazz deserves to be celebrated. Yeah. Hey, Donna, great to have you here again.
Thank you, Donna.
Birthday girl of yesterday.
Yeah, thank
Happy
you for
Jazz
watching,
Appreciation Day. Oh, yeah, Donna says the Rochester Jazz Fest, it's been rescheduled for October. Our fingers are crossed. Hopefully it will be able to happen. I know that, they are tentatively scheduling it for that time based on, what the health experts are saying or mandating. So I guess they can't have a definite answer yet, but it's nice to know at least there's like some kind of glimmer of hope that they're sort of planning something. I'm actually wearing my Jazz Festival t-shirt today in honor of Jazz Day. Hey, Dad, he says, oh my gosh, he says, happy JAD. And I just realized that's almost your initials. Jazz Appreciation Day.
Thank you, Jan.
Yeah, great to have you here again, Dad. My dad's middle name is Carl, so it's JCD, but this is 2/3 of your initials here. Yeah. Hola, Ma. She says, happy International Jazz Day. Beautiful show. Gracias, Ma. And hola to Marilu and Alejandro Sr. and Jr. and Deanna. Thank you all so much for watching.
Thank you all for
We're so happy that you're all on Facebook now.
Yeah,
like, really
gracias.
Makes me happy that they're there.
Exactly.
It's just, I feel like we're more connected now since it's unfortunately difficult for us to travel to Mexico very often, especially now. So it's nice to at least be able to stay in touch through Facebook.
Gracias.
Yeah. Jeff Trumbull's watching again. Jeff and Sharon, hi. Thank you so much for watching again. And Laura, your daughter Laura.
Jeff and Sharon?
And Sharon, yes, watching from Canandaigua again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for watching.
Lynn Buellman's watching. Hey, Lynn, great to have you here again.
Thank you, Lynn.
He says he loves Nutville. I have that record. Enjoy you both every night. Seems like I'm always having dinner during these concerts. Oh, that's quite okay. Oh, and he says, I'm always having dinner during these concerts and playing along with my knife. Oh my God, I love that.
Perfect.
I'm not as good as Antonio. That's quite.
You are. Thank you.
You should
Lynn.
come play with us sometime when we can, when we can see each other again. We could have like a trio with piano, drums, and silverware. That'd be really fun.
Thank you, Lynn. Thank you for watching.
Hey. Oh, hi, Kim. I see that you're watching. Hey, Kim Shavino.
Kim Shavino, thank you for watching.
Great to have you here. I miss you so much. It is so weird not seeing you all week long because Kim is the owner of the beautiful piano studio where I teach called Musically Fit over in Pittsford. Of course, we're both teaching remotely during this time, and it's been really sad not seeing her all week long. I miss you so much, but thank you so much for watching tonight, Kim.
Thank you, Kim.
See, and Deanna says, happy Jazz Day. Yay!
Thank you, Deanna.
Siobhan, I think we checked out of our hotel with minutes to spare. Yeah, that's probably true because I think we probably thought it was an hour earlier and then discovered that it wasn't. Also, that reminds me of, I'm going to tell that story about when we were on the ship while I'm looking through here. I think that was all the Facebook comments. When Antonio and I were working on a cruise ship, which is how we met, as most of you know, but some people might not know that. It was a very romantic way to meet. Yeah. It was such an amazing experience. There was one point during one of our contracts where the ship that we were on was actually going from Europe back to the U.S. And so we were crossing the Atlantic for like 6 or 7 days, and every day we would change the clocks back 1 hour, which was really nice because we avoided like having jet lag that way. It was all gradual. Well, I thought we were changing the clocks back every night. It turned out it was every night except for the very last night, and apparently the last night we were already set. And so it was time for us to play. We always started playing at 6:30, and we always had our dinner at 5:30. So it was 5:30, or so we thought, and we went to the dining area to eat. We were relaxing, and we thought it was kind of funny. We were like, the people that we usually see here don't seem to be here tonight. And the food was kind of like picked over by the time we got there, and usually it was like all fresh right at 5:30. But, we just thought, oh, okay, must be just kind of like an off day or something. And then we're sitting there relaxing. It was then it was 6 o'clock. We thought we had time for like dessert and coffee and relaxing a little bit before we were supposed to start playing. And then our friend Dennis, who is the bass player and band leader, came up to us all of a sudden. He was like, hey guys. And he had kind of this funny smile on his face. And we're like, hi. And he's like, you know what time it is, right? And I was like, yeah, it's 6 o'clock. We're going to start playing in 30 minutes. And he's like, actually, we were supposed to start 30 minutes ago. It's 7 o'clock now. I had changed our clock back an extra hour that day. And I did not realize that it was not a day to change the clocks back.
It happens a lot on the ship.
Yeah. Everything worked out in the end. Even our boss just thought it was funny because it was a complete, innocent mistake. Exactly. As far as we know, we were right on time. Yeah. So anyway, a little kind of clock change, daylight savings, time change sort of story there. So I think that was everyone here. I'm just going to check over on YouTube real quick. And I know that our YouTube audience is still kind of growing since it's a newer thing. Looks like I got all the comments for now. I'm going to read through them again later just to make sure there weren't any I missed. If I did miss your comment, I'm going to write back to you later tonight. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy International Jazz Day once again. Thank you for spending your evening with us. We'll see you back here at the same time tomorrow night. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I meant. And then I was thinking off, but I said disconnect. I'm just gonna check out here.